I'm Elena Sadiku. I'm the head coach of Celtic FC Women. Football has been my life since I started playing when I was 8. The biggest love of my life. It's just something that I never want to live without. And then my dad saw that I had potential since I always beat my big brother in football. And then what he did was he took me to Malmö FF directly because he thought that I was so good. And that's where I started the journey. I was a big talent, but the biggest talent of mine was the mindset and how hard I worked, because how much I wanted to be successful. But when I was 19, I had a massive injury in my left knee, came back, scored a hat-trick on my comeback. In the end, 3 months after, I did an ACL again, and I was in a wheelchair for 2 months. And when that happened, my doctor and physio said that I should stop. But, you know, my strength is my head, and I didn't want to quit until I knew, you know, is it possible? So I tried, I came back, and then I did it again. I was 23. Something that I really adore is, like, as a Celtic manager, or like just a general, like someone working for Celtic, is the people around the club, but also our fans. I think there's no one that can feel the passion that we have from the fans, and that's something that I really adore and love. And Kelly, obviously, she's more experienced and she's been here from the start. But it's also important for her to understand that, you know, there's new things coming in, you know, there's adapting style of things. But for me, it's just important that Kelly, as a captain as well, is that she's one of the closest players I have when I had to chat about something. And I think that relation is different to all the other relations, because for me it's important to have that trust in Kelly to, like, know that we're going on the right direction. And that's something that I try to have special in that area, that, like, we both think the same and we can still talk about things that we think we should improve within the team, but also like in games and stuff. So she's also a player that I can call to, not having advice, but more about having open discussions about different things.
I'm Kelly Clark, the Celtic captain. My dad played for a club team where I'm from, up in Arbroath. Actually just outside Arbroath in a place called Freakham, and I used to go along, kick a ball about. I've got a younger brother who I used to kick a ball about with, and that was that really. I joined a girls team, believe it or not, when I was 7 up there, and never looked back. Quite everything else that I did once I joined it. And then when you got to sort of 15, 16 and school was becoming a bit serious, I started to think, you know, unless I go to America, leave Scotland, you know, potentially go down south. At that time it wasn't even big down south, you know, you were probably talking more Germany, Sweden or America were your options, and I didn't want to do that. So probably at like 15, 16, I genuinely thought, nah, like, I'm never going to be able to be a professional footballer, because for women it's not really a thing. I continued with football all the time, you know, at no point I've ever chucked it. I went to university. My most strong subject in school was maths. I chose to do accountancy and finance at university. I absolutely loved it. I graduated and I got a job with Deloitte, and, you know, been through all my chartered accountancy exams and still going strong. The firm are amazing with me. Obviously there's sacrifices made on both sides, but you know, it's a decision that I made back as a teenager, that, you know, I was going to give my academics the level of commitment that I thought they needed. You know, like I say, even when I was still 18, 19, professional football meant leaving this country. It meant, you know, going miles away, and I never really wanted to do it. So I went down a slightly different path to what a lot of people my age have gone down, who've ended up playing professional football, and, you know, thankfully I'm still able to do both. The fans, they're absolutely amazing. The support when they're there are unbelievable, and that I'm talking both the fans that come every single week and the fans that, you know, come when we're playing at Celtic Park. You know, they really are like nothing I ever thought I would get to experience. You know, I'm obviously from a small town, supported local club. When you come down here, I don't think you really realise that Celtic is a way of life. It's not, you know, it's not just come on a Saturday afternoon and clap and cheer your team on for 90 minutes. It's quite daunting how big it is. You know, sometimes when I'm in the stand and like you'll never walk alone, start singing, or something massive is happening. You know, I actually struggle to not just cry because I don't know. A few years ago, I would just never have believed that women's football could get to where it's got to at the club. It's like beyond your wildest dreams. I feel when I signed for Celtic, I probably never expected to be here for as long as I was here, because like I've mentioned, you know, I chose the academic route. I really didn't think that 12 years later I would still be playing. Never mind being captain and being it for so long and getting to, you know, reach the milestones that we've reached at the club. You know, from going professional, we're putting in Barrafield, winning first trophy, Champions League, first winning the Champions League. You know, some of the milestones that we've hit in my time as captain have been unbelievable. Tiree, she gives you nothing less than 100% every session. She would run through a brick wall, literally, for you. She runs through players at training. She wants to do so well, and if she continues with the attitude that she's got, then I can't wait to see where she goes.
I'm Tiree Burchhill and I play for Celtic. I was a sporty kid, played a lot of sports and kind of just fell into football, was surrounded by it a lot, and once I started going, loved it, and I've been loving it ever since. Well, I came through the academy and I was lucky enough to make the jump to the first team, and you know, I've supported Celtic all my life, so to play for Celtic's a dream come true. So my dad played for Celtic and he also came through the academy as well, so it's quite a special thing for both of us to kind of bond over such a special club, and it's got so much history, and I think it's who I've supported my whole life and my whole family, so it's just so special. Going on loan was the best decision I've made. Playing consistent minutes in the league, it can only do me good, so I've really enjoyed all my experiences, and to bring that back in here has just helped me grow as a player and as a person. I mean, I go to my dad for advice on anything, but I think also it's important for me to kind of make my own decision, make my own way, but the support that I get from my family is unwavering, so I'm just really thankful either way. This is like my first full season in the squad now, and experiencing the split in the top half now, it's getting like every game's a massive game and we can't look too far ahead, so it's exciting to see how it works, keeping focus on the game at hand, and hopefully I think we'll do well. Of course, like we're playing at Celtic Park next week, and I remember last year the record-breaking crowds. It's just something you want to be a part of, so hopefully this season we can do one better. And when you think of Celtic, you think of Kelly, in my opinion. She's just the GOAT of Celtic. She's been here for so long, made so many appearances, came up in many big moments for us, and I just think she's obviously our captain as well, just such a great leader. Yeah, I mean, I could look to anyone in the team, but Kelly especially, she always has the right thing to say, and I think that's a good quality to have in a captain.
For them to now have the opportunity to go through the Celtic Academy and become a professional footballer for Celtic is unbelievable. You know, I genuinely think that like 7 years ago, I would never have expected it to happen, and I love that now instead of girls getting to 16 and starting to speak about going to America or what they're going to do, you know, going down to somewhere down south and playing for a uni team, they can now say, well, you know what, I'm going to work my socks off and I'm going to get a professional contract with Celtic. She is obsessed with football. She is a perfectionist with football. She obviously really unfortunately lost her own career fairly early, and that is how she coaches. So she hates anything sloppy, lack of effort. She pushes for the best, really, really pushes for the best.
Coming into the split, like all the games count and are very, very important. So for me, it's just been good. It's been challenging, but for me, challenges is something that you learn a lot from, and that's something that I believe and I know that we have been progressing from and just doing better and progressing as a team. We need to push for more equality. For me, it's always going to be like the money problem that we have, but you can also see that there's other teams that are doing really well when it comes to different scenarios. So I just hope that women's football continues in the growth that we are doing right now.